Hey everybody! For this project I wanted to incorporate one of my paintings that I originally created for a friend. It's inspired by Van Gogh and painted using black light sensitive paints. I started with an AI generated image from Dream, then used my Wacom tablet to paint in the desired elements. In my search parameters, I searched for a starry night with river. It has provided me several options, and I'll choose one image to see if we can enhance it further. In the search box, I'll add a few more details, and once the results appear, I'll select the best variation to save, then I'll airdrop it to my computer to open it in Photoshop. Once I have the image open in Photoshop, I plan to create a map for it and determine the best approach using the tools I intend to utilize. First, I'll create a mask to make the background transparent before adding my painting. I find it easier to see what I need to brush out without the distractions of a background. I quickly zoom in on the area using the command spacebar on my Mac, as I prefer using shortcuts in Photoshop to save time and minimize unnecessary movements. I select my brush and set the hardness to 100%. Then I begin masking out a large portion of the background. Once that's done, I'll switch to a smaller brush for more precise cutting. There are several ways to achieve what I'm doing. One alternative is to use the color selection option in the Photoshop menu to select similar colors. Another method I might try is using the magic wand tool and adjusting the tolerance until I find a selection that closely matches what I need. After experimenting with various tools, I decide to use the lasso tool because it gives me more control, allowing me to navigate into those nooks and crannies for a clean finish. Additionally, you might notice a plus sign next to my lasso tool. By default, the lasso tool only creates a single selection. However, once I create a new shape, the previous one disappears. To add to my selection, I need to click the setting on the lasso toolbar, which is how my selection continues to expand. To extract the important elements, I'll use the marquee selection tool. After selecting what I'll need, I'll press the shortcut key Command J, which will create a new layer with just the selected area while keeping the original layer intact. Then I'll group the original layer into a folder and hide it, ensuring that my original content is safe and preserved. Since the photo was taken at an angle, I'll straighten it out to enhance the overall composition. Once it's aligned properly, I'll place it in a position that feels balanced and makes sense within the contents of the artwork. This will help create a more polished final piece. I'm applying smart sharpening to enhance the details. And then I'll create a copy of the layer to flip it vertically for the reflection in the river. After adjusting the perspective and adding a ripple distort filter, I want to give the water more depth. To achieve this, I'll use a gradient to apply a subtle drop shadow on the water. By utilizing the multiply blending option with low opacity, I can effectively tie everything together and create a realistic water surface that complements the overall composition. Next, I'll use the brush tool to add highlights, midtones, and shadows on the water to capture the tiny waves reflecting light and suggest movement. If I want the water to appear more dynamic and erratic, I can apply a plastic filter to create a crinkly effect on the surface, enhancing the illusion of texture and movement in the water. This will give the scene a more lively and realistic feel. I'll grab the burn tool to deepen the shadows along the bank of the hill where the house is situated. Using a large, soft brush will help create a smooth gradient and enhance the sense of depth in that area. This will add more dimension to the landscape and make the scene feel more realistic.
Bright lights and colors, shapes come alive, ideas in motion. Photoshop like
To create more reflections on the water with the canoe and the mountains, I'll start by command clicking on the mask that we made earlier to select the area for the canoe's reflection in the water. Using the warp tool, I'll adjust the shape to mimic how it would naturally connect with the water. Then I'll color in that area with the brush tool to create a seamless transition. Applying the ripple distort effect will give the reflection a more realistic appearance.
text, drag and zoom, creativity's calling. Fill up the room, color and shadows, textures and lines, infinite canvas, boundless designs, blend modes and filters.
I'll do the same for the mountains, adjusting the reflection accordingly.
Rosie, our savior, just feel the rise. Fonts and selections, tools by our side. Digital wonders, let's take this ride. Blend modes and filters, each stroke precise. Control Z, our savior, just feel the rise. Fonts and selections, tools by our side. Digital wonders, let's take this ride.
Open your tools and unlock the door. Layers and brushes, there's so much more. See the canvas blank as day. Shapes and colors come and stay.
Finally, I'll reduce the opacity on both reflections to allow the water underneath to blend with them, creating a harmonious and believable integration into the scene. After organizing my layer list a bit and making sure that I have some naming conventions in place, I want to color grade the bushes that are along the bank of the hill with the house on it. I achieve this by adding another layer and selecting the bushes, then applying an opaque color to each one. This allows me to control how I want to blend them later.
Imagine pixels in your mind. Art is freedom, see what you find. Photoshop magic on my screen, making art from a simple dream. Every click an adventure starts. Unleash the power, hold your heart. Zooming out, every detail's keen. Brush it smooth, make it clean. Patterns, textures in your hand. Transform the play into grand. Let your vision shine so bright in this world of color and light. Every project a new design. Art and soul perfectly align. Photoshop magic on my screen, making art from
For the trees, I plan to add color too, but I also want to create fallen leaves. To accomplish this, I'll need a specific brush from the library. After confirming that the brush isn't available in the library, I'll need to go online to get it. Once I locate my brush in the library, I'll adjust the brush settings to suit my preferences. I can decide whether to space the leaves further apart or select various colors for them. Additionally, I have the option to determine if the leaves should all face the same direction or vary in alignment, as well as adjust their sizes.
every hue, a world that's just for you. Layers stacking high, brushstrokes in the sky, magic in your hand, where dreams come to life. Light and shadows play in a digital.
Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed my very first tutorial and that you found some inspiring ideas from it.
Every day, color my world with every shade and hue.